Hi, welcome back to Sugar Spice and Rosé. My name is Erica, and in this video, I'll show you how to make a caramelized onion buttermilk biscuit sandwich. It tastes even better than it sounds. When I say this one is for the bucks, I mean it. I'll show you how easy the biscuits are to make, the fried chicken, and the creamy cucumber salad. Let's get into it, starting with the salad. Thinly slice the cucumbers and onions, rinsing the onions after to remove the pungent flavor. I prefer to do this because I like the taste better after I do it. Finally, chop the parsley and garlic, and using a peeler, thinly slice the carrots to get carrot ribbons. To a deli container, add all of your veg you just chopped along with the mayo, cream cheese or yogurt, vinegar, salt, and pepper to taste. For this recipe, I originally used buttermilk, but the sauce was a bit too thin, so I'd recommend cream cheese for its thickness. Cover the container and shake well. To make sure everything was well mixed, I poured the salad into a bowl and mixed it there.
No, just make sure everything is well incorporated.
Next are the caramelized onion buttermilk biscuit, which has two main components, caramelized onions and the actual dough. To make the caramelized onions, heat a pan on low to medium flame and add the butter and allow it to melt. To this, add the diced onions and stir to combine. You want to keep this on a low flame now because you want these to slowly get color. You want them to slowly break down. Add salt to taste and a splash of water if it starts to stick to the pan. And you want to stir this continually. It will slowly start to change color until you get this deep, rich color. Set it aside to cool. For the biscuit dough, we'll first make the buttermilk by mixing the whole milk with vinegar, and I'll set that aside to let it curdle or thicken a bit. As the buttermilk does its thing, we can then start on the biscuits. To a bowl, add all of your dry ingredients, mix, then add cold but softened cubes of butter. You want the butter to be cold but not hard, squeezable but not oily or greasy. Toss the butter in the flour so it doesn't stick to your hands. Take the cubes of butter between your fingers and flatten each piece. The pieces will look similar to the shape of cornflakes. This is the same method you use to make rough puff pastry. Distributing the butter in this way will create layers of butter when we fold the dough later. You don't want the pieces to be too big or too small, so a nice medium-sized piece is good, but don't freak out if you have bigger or smaller pieces. During the baking process, the butter will melt, creating steam, which will create those flaky layers. After breaking down the butter, I like to place mine in the freezer to be 100% sure that the butter is cold and firm again. Soft butter is a no-no for this dough. After chilling, it's time to mix. I like to slowly incorporate the buttermilk, mixing after each addition. I do this to hydrate the flour evenly. I pour the milk over any dry spots as I mix in, then I continue to mix until all of the flour is hydrated and all of that milk has been used. And you may have noticed that I forgot the caramelized onions in the caramelized onion buttermilk biscuits, but we're not going to talk about that. Now, to create those beautiful layers, lightly flour a clean surface and turn the dough out onto that surface. This is where a bench scraper comes in handy. Using the bench scraper, flatten the dough and fold it in thirds or in the letter fold, which is a fold that you usually see done for croissants. Flatten the dough again and repeat 2 more times. It's at this point when I was filming, I realized that I forgot the onions. Yeah, I forgot the onions. You'd think I tried to remember because that's in the title of the recipe. So I added them to the other half of my dough because I did a double batch of the recipe. Then I folded the dough like I did before, folded it into thirds or like in the latter fold, and then I placed it in the fridge to chill. I tried to unfold it and spread the other half of the onions onto it, fold it like a cinnamon roll. Then I flattened it, I cut it into 4 and stacked those 4 pieces on top of each other. And with all the accidental over mixing or folding, the biscuits still turned out nice and flaky. I think it's a little better well mixed through. I can't believe that I actually forgot the caramelized onions in the caramelized onion buttermilk biscuit recipe. Really and truly. I let them chill in the fridge overnight. A few hours in the fridge is good if you don't have time to leave them in the fridge overnight, at least 4 hours. We want that butter to be cold and firm. Remove them from the fridge, and using a rolling pin, I shape the dough into a rectangle, approximately 1/2 inch tall or 3/4 inch. I like to use my forefinger and I measure by that first line on my finger. That's the height that I like to use. Removing the edges of the dough when you're done shaping it, just to make sure that it's even all around. I then cut the dough into 6 equal pieces. If you want them to be smaller, you can feel free to cut them into 12 pieces. Place them on a lined baking sheet, brush it with melted unsalted butter, and bake them at 385 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 to 25 minutes, or until they're golden brown and baked all the way through. When they're finished baking, you can brush them with more butter if you'd like. Look at these beautiful biscuits. They're so beautiful. The flavor of these biscuits is rich and floral. The caramelized onions really add depth to the recipe. For the final component, the fried chicken. Very simple. I took some boneless chicken thighs and seasoned them with jerk seasoning, garlic powder, onion powder, salt, and black pepper. I mixed it well, and I used those same seasonings in the egg wash. And the egg wash is made from 2 eggs and a splash of water, and the flour from my panning station. So for the flour dredge, I use both cornstarch and baking powder for that extra crispiness. I first coated the chicken in flour, then egg wash and flour again. Don't leave any wet spots on the chicken. You want everything to be evenly coated. I let them sit for a few minutes whilst I heated my oil to 350 degrees Fahrenheit over a medium flame. I then gently lower the chicken into the oil, skin side down, and cut the chicken for 6 to 7 minutes per side. I fry the chicken until it has an internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the temperature you want your chicken to be to make sure that they're cooked. I then place the chicken on a wire rack to cool until I'm ready to assemble. The chicken thighs were a bit big, so I just cut them in half so that they'd fit in the biscuits a bit better. Now it's time to assemble. Slice one of the biscuits in half, add a piece of that chicken, followed by the salad. If you have a sauce that you like to add, feel free to do that, and finish it off with the other half of the biscuit, and voila, a beautiful caramelized onion buttermilk biscuit sandwich. That is a very long title, but it's a very delicious title. It tastes really, really nice. If I could go back in time, the only thing I'd change is the buttermilk in the creamy cucumber salad. I changed it from buttermilk to cream cheese. The cream cheese, in my opinion, would have kept it more creamy. The buttermilk made the sauce of it a bit too thin, but hey, it was still very delicious. I got hungry editing this video, so I made the biscuits again. This is a remake of a recipe I did when I first started my YouTube channel, and now that my filming setup changed and improved along with the camera quality, I thought that I'd redo some of my previous recipes just for fun. But I was filming mid-eating. This is really good. The flavor of the caramelized of the biscuits, caramelized onion buttermilk biscuits, really nice. You get it's subtle, it's not overpowering. The crunch of the chicken, the crispiness of the veg, and this veg is a few days quote unquote old and now finishing filming and stuff, but it is still crispy and crunchy, even the cucumber. So yeah, the creamy cucumber salad, the creamy cucumber and carrot salad, a few onions in there, fried chicken, caramelized onion, buttermilk biscuits. Really good. Delicious. I want to thank everyone so much for being here. For the ones who subscribed when I had stopped posting, and those who would have stayed subscribed whilst I wasn't posting. So thank you so much for being here. If you're new here, feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. And if you want something sweet after having your biscuits, feel free to watch this video right here. Have a great day or night, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!